Hi, everyone, and thanks for coming to hear more about the Ecological Forecasting Initiative Student Association, or EFISA.
EFISA was founded by students and for students as a platform for sharing resources, bolstering community, and fostering collaboration within the diverse field of ecological forecasting. Our group first started in the fall of 2019 following the first EFI meeting in DC as a way to provide a network of students to fulfill the mission that we just mentioned on the previous page. We've met monthly since fall 2019 and have used that time for a variety of purposes, including journal discussions, hosting guest speakers of interest, and brainstorming future projects and collaborations, which has been really fruitful for our group. Ultimately, we hope to serve as an inclusive resource to help early career ecological forecasters engage in the practice. And EFISA is really driven by the four co-chairs who really represent a diverse group of students in discipline as well as interest and expertise within ecological forecasting.
I'm Lynda Bradley. I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate at Emory University, and I'm a disease ecologist that's studying the effects of resource pulses on host parasite dynamics. And I have been a EFISA co-chair for only about a month now.
And I'm Dave Klinges. I'm a third-year PhD candidate at the University of Florida, and I use mechanistic approaches to understand climate across spatial and temporal scales, especially in the context of climate change in Madagascar. And I've been a co-chair since fall 2019.
I'm Whitney Woelmer. I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate at Virginia Tech, and I've also been a co-chair with Dave since fall of 2019. In my research, I'm broadly a freshwater ecologist interested in forecasting water quality like phytoplankton or dissolved oxygen, as well as finding ways to teach students how we can better communicate those forecasts for decision making.
And I'm Alyssa Willson. I'm a third-year PhD candidate at Notre Dame. I've been a co-chair for about a year now, and my research focuses on how to predict forest community composition and biomass over long time periods, spanning decades to centuries. So most of EFISA's interaction time comes from our monthly meetings. The goal of our meetings is to build a community specifically for students and early career professionals within EFI to learn about how to make forecasts and to build forecasting and forecasting related skills. So far, our approach has mainly been to give students a space to read and discuss literature related to ecological forecasting, and we occasionally have guest speakers talk to our group about forecasting or just about their careers. In the past year, we've really narrowed in on one topic that we've centered our reading and discussion around, which you'll hear about in a moment. By focusing in on one topic, we've been able to focus more on the outcome of our meetings throughout the year, which we want to be producing resources for the ecological forecasting community as a whole, like the blog post you'll hear about next.
So like Alyssa said, one of the topics that we've been interested in this year is this tension between making a model forecast simple. So presumably it would be more flexible for different applications versus making it more complex, presumably more accurate for a particular use. However, of course, these generalizations are just that. They're not entirely accurate, and therefore not necessarily helpful to model decision making. A lot of the decisions that you make when building a model are just nested within these terms, like what particular type of model you're going to use or what parameters to pick. And there's so many specific considerations that are just, we believe, poorly guided by both the terms and how researchers use them in the literature, which is pretty evident based on these long-standing conflicting discussions that you can read about in the literature. So our goal is to sort through these basically proxy arguments and help build a guide for predictive modelers to select the appropriate level of complexity for what they want to do. Some of the things we're working on is improving the precision in the vocabulary that we use, identifying specific model techniques and the data input required for them, and what the intended application of the forecast will be and who is actually using it.
So if these types of discussions and projects are of interest to you, we'd love for you to come join us in. We take a broad definition of students, whether you're an undergraduate, graduate student, postdoc, or a lifelong learner. So there's definitely a place for you in EFISA. And provided here, we have the QR code for the EFI Slack workspace, where many of our discussions as a community occur. We have the rendezvous time for our monthly meetings and the contact info for us co-chairs. So thanks for listening, and we'd be happy to field any of your questions.